Talk about where we saw Dutch before the flashback, and explain what that world is, and Ruta talk about what that does for the character, where she's at.
Though the scenes that were written for me inside the maternity unit were just quite intense to do, they were quite amazing. So we start off this season with the trachea. We're living off grid and we're just trying to survive and we get captured. And then Dutch is put in this partnership maternity unit, which is just bleak and dark and terrifying, and all these women who are B positive are breeders, basically. And they're given a good life, they survive in there, but it's not for Dutch, obviously. And yeah, we'll see as the season goes on how she fares with that.
For Chuck and Carlton, just talk about that world and what we'll see moving forward beyond that first scene we saw.
I mean, the fun thing about the show in this final season is we are living in nuclear winter and we're seeing every character's survival strategy for how they try to get by in this remade world where now the Strigoi are sitting above humans on the food chain, and the Strigoi have won, essentially, and the unimaginable has happened. We are not the prime species, they are. And so we thought it was really fun to separate our characters and see them in these, each character, set of characters is in a different set of circumstances, and we're hopefully rooting for them and wondering how they're going to get back together and whether they're going to be able to turn the tables on the Strigoi, and that's really what the season is about. And you know, the Dutch storyline, as Ruta said, you know, she's basically found herself, you know, as a breeder. You know, this bee blood is something that the Strigoi love, and that becomes a big part of the narrative as the season goes along.
It's safe to say we'll find out where Citrakian is, because we haven't seen in this clip where he actually is either.
Yes, it is very safe to say, especially since David Bradley's sitting up here on the panel, that you will be seeing a lot of him this season.
Corey, I want to ask about F's journey a little bit, because he's really kind of separated himself from everybody, and I'm guessing some of that's intentional, that he doesn't want the ties, or can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, he's sort of, he ends up in Philadelphia sort of by chance. Obviously they need to get out of New York because of the fallout, and that's the ride that he gets. And then from then on, he's lost his drive to save the world, which he's had since the pilot. He's just in survival, as you saw in the last episode. And he knows he wants to be reunited with Zach. He's just not quite sure what he wants to do with him once he finds him.
Did he just ground a kid for blowing up New York City?
It's a little hard to figure out what the punishment should be.
One, talk about just him and his relationships and how that actually maybe helps him in his quest to kind of just save the world. Is there a correlation?
How it helps him?
Relaxing.
Yeah, it keeps him, I guess, calm and relaxed and ready for battle. You know, he seems to be looking for love in all possible places, and for me, with my wife, it's been an interesting conversation. Yes, I'm making out with another beautiful woman, and I will buy you another purse.
No, I mean, literally, that is actually Kevin's deal, so just explain the arrangement.
Yeah, I had never really been kissing women on television or in film until the last 3-4 years. I was usually kidnapping them or eating their babies, so a couple people thought that I should start kissing them and taking my clothes off once I hit 40. And trying to explain that to my wife is complicated. So she gets a new purse every time lips touch or the shirt comes off. And the fictional crazy monkey dance ensues. She gets a new bag.
Kevin's
monkey
wife,
dance is sex. It was code for sex, for those of you that missed out on that one. I love you, by the way.
Carlton and I were in on the deal with Kevin's wife, Sandra. We also got purses, just writing in kisses. So our wives are also well equipped.
That's right.
David, I want to talk about Satrakian a little bit. I mean, he's had such a long history of fighting. What is keeping him going now at this point? I mean, the world's gotten so much bleaker, but what's keeping him moving forward and still fighting the fight?
Well, he's on this mission. And before we move on, about all this making out stuff, everybody seems to be making out apart from Satrakian. And, you know, I'll see you going for a while. Okay.
That's,
first. And I mean,
I don't know, that's a handbag, but...
I mean, the guy's only 95 years old, so give him a chance. But he's on this mission, and he's been totally unwavering in this mission to avenge his wife's death, and to defeat the Master. That's the only thing he's interested in. And as we saw on the clip there, with
well, he's obviously also interested in getting laid, which we didn't realize until now, and now he's doing it, so sorry.
Yeah, we live in hope, yes. And so
I smell spin-off.
Well, I would say one...
The relationship with Dutch is kind of is the most unlikely rescue thing, that she, after all this time, she's the one that gets him out of this situation. And because of the end of what happened at the end of season 3, we seem to have lost that relationship with Satrakian and the father-son thing. And this kind of replaces it for now. But we'll see how it transpires. But he's determined, almost to the point of selfishness, as we saw in that little clip where he begs Dutch to go back in the building to get the lumen. And it's quite a ruthless thing to do, knowing what it may cost. And it seems to me his guilt when it all goes wrong, we both end up incarcerated. His guilt is palpable. So, what I like about the bits we just seen, and the first time I've seen him, is his vulnerability. He hasn't got all the answers. He's not the Lone Ranger, you know, and he's left in a very, with all this guilt for getting her into this, and but he's still in there fighting, and well, as it transpires, it's Dutch that helps him, and he renews his vigour, and he gets back on track with his mission. And that's what I admire about him, and never wavered, even if it comes at the expense of other people.
For more, click left to watch part 2 of the Strain panel, or click right to watch part 3.